The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros. Who should Edgar Berlanga fight next? Now, Edgar Berlanga turned in a respectable performance against Canelo Alvarez, and in his post-fight interview, uh, you know, they talked about the fight plan for Berlanga. So it says Keith Conley on Edgar Berlanga's future. So Keith Conley must be in Berlanga's team as manager somehow. And I guess he was like, Eddie, you're not going to be talking about my fighter. I'm going to pretend like I'm the man. So I don't know the situation. I'm just joking. But let's listen to the plan for Edgar Berlanga.
Going forward, I think, like Eddie said, we'll sit down. I think the smart thing to do would be a homecoming in either New York or Puerto Rico, get his legs back underneath him, get him another win, and then target guys like Munguia, Charlo, Caleb Plant. And if the Diego Pacheco fight makes sense, we could do that fight as well. But there's probably at least 3, 4, or 5 fights that are huge for Edgar in the next couple of years here.
All right. So although it was Conley speaking, he sounded a lot like Eddie Hearn. He said a homecoming in New York, a homecoming in Puerto Rico. That's what Eddie Hearn does. Trill, don't do it in Puerto Rico. I'm just saying, don't do it in Puerto Rico. But Trill Dollar Bill, what's your reaction to the plan for Edgar Berlanga moving forward?
I'm not mad at that plan. I was thinking the same exact thing. He should go in there. His next fight should be against Eddie O'Sullivan. You know what I'm saying? People want to know who Eddie O'Sullivan is. I don't know who he is either. Just a journeyman name that I just came up with. So I'm just thinking like a showcase fight. He just was in there with Canelo. He gave a valid effort, but he was dropped in there, and he did take a beating. He lost every round, you know. So I'm thinking that, you know, he needs a fight to get, like his manager said, get his legs underneath him. A fight against a nice little journeyman, somebody that's not a puncher, because he was just punched all in his head, you know, this last fight, and then gradually move him up. Maybe the Derevanchenko is getting older and stuff like that, and then I will go towards a Munguia fight, you know, make it a youthful fight like that. Then I'll try to go against there with somebody else, and then probably Caleb Plant, probably make that into a bigger fight because of the rivalry there. But I definitely think he should be taking his time his next fight. Take some time off, go chill out with the family, then get back into camp, you know, but not with no dangerous opponent. You know what I'm saying? Not with no banger. You know? A little soft touch.
So I know there are going to be people out there who are going to say, we want the best fighting the best. We don't want to see no soft touches. We want to see you throw Berlanga in the ring with Caleb Plant next, and we want to see that fight. The fans don't want to pay to see this and whatever. So I'm just playing devil's advocate because there are people who are going to do that. Now my answer is I agree, but let me explain to you people who hold that position why it's wrong. We're talking about human beings, not machines. So Berlanga was just in a tough fight. He needs to recover, but he also needs to keep his tools active. So again, remember, boxing is a sport of reflexes, timing, and all of those things, right? So how can Edgar Berlanga keep his timing, his reflexes, and build on a great performance that he just turned in, although he didn't win? He can go in with Eddie O'Sullivan, as Trill said, wasn't a real guy, just a name we're using for a journeyman, right? But he can go in with a journeyman. He can fight the journeyman. And one, he's giving the journeyman an opportunity to show his talent the same way Canelo gave Berlanga the opportunity to show his talent. And you never know. Look at what McCumbee did with Caleb Plant. Sometimes you bring these guys in thinking it's going to be easy night, and they make it tough for you. But the most important thing it's going to do is it's going to give Berlanga the opportunity to keep his tools sharp while he recovers from the beating he took from Canelo Alvarez, who Berlanga admitted was one of the hardest punches he's ever been in the ring with. He said it was between Canelo and this Cuban guy he's been in the ring with. He said they're both really hard punches. But Canelo hits hard, and I think there's more than enough evidence throughout the history of his career to prove that. So those of you who want fighters to fight the best fighters in the world back to back, you're basically saying you don't want them to have a long career. And this is my problem with people being unrealistic. And this is why people say, particularly the boxers, if you say stuff like that, you're the reason why they say you have to be in the ring to understand. This is the reason why they say they don't respect the opinion of those who never box. Because anyone who's ever boxed would know what it feels like after a tough fight, even after a tough sparring session, and then to be like, okay, we're going to do the same thing again tomorrow. That's the next thing. We're going to do the same thing. We're doing the same thing. Your body needs time to recover. But again, boxing is about reflexes, timing, skill, IQ. So you need to keep doing that. Imagine you study for a test and you don't do any more studying, you don't do anything, and then you go right in and you're just going to take another test cold. That's not the way it is. That's why Caleb Plant looked rusty in his fight. So what Trill said is actually the best plan for both of them. Maybe even put them on the same card, but let Caleb, because he's been off for 2 years, he looked a little rusty against McCumbee. Let Caleb get another tune-up. Let Berlanga get a tune-up, knowing that they're going to fight each other next. So that way, when that fight happens, we get the best version of both of them. We get two guys who basically had 2 extended training camps when you factor in the tune-up, and now we get to see the best version of Caleb, and now we get to see the best version of Edgar Berlanga, because I don't want to see a Caleb Plant who was rusty as hell against McCumbee and a Berlanga who just got beat on by Canelo fight each other next, because that's how the fight is going to become a dud. But you may disagree with that, and if you do, respect to you. But again, I would just say respectfully, you probably never had a boxing match in a tough one where you needed time to recover. If you think that the best thing for the sport is to throw them in the ring with each other after they both just had 2 tough fights on the same night.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter, and please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. I'm the commissioner, Trill Dollar Bills. My brother Caden, LG for life. We are the Boxing Bros. You even need time from the gym.
That's true. Just from squad, you need time. They don't even factor in that they be training too. Not just boxing, but the whole training camp.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. I don't even get into that.